now is the time to buy an SN95 Mustang, or at least 5 years ago was. Here's why. When I got into the car scene, the cheap beater Mustang was the Fox body. As late as 2008, you could pick up a 5.05 speed Fox body, regardless of the trim, for $2,000. That gave you a running and driving Mustang. Spend a bit more, say up to $4,000 for something that was mint condition. The time was pre-recession, and the retro S197 was the Mustang to have, or at least a higher level SN95 such as a Cobra, a Mach 1, or some variant of a Celine or a Roush. Nobody wanted a square, outdated Fox. This was the time before Hoonigan made them famous. The only people who owned Fox bodies were the diehards from the 80s and the 90s. They spent so much time on them, they just couldn't let them go. That was a great time to pick up a decent example of a Fox body, because casual drivers were ready to move on from them, and car enthusiasts, unless they really wanted a Fox, had much newer, more powerful options. During this time period, I personally owned two. The Fox body value was at its lowest, not only in terms of resale value, but in terms of social value. But that has all changed. As time has progressed, car culture has changed. Cars from the 80s are in, and the lightweight Fox chassis has gotten a second wind. The generation who grew up with Foxes want them back. Pristine examples are going for almost their retail price on auction sites like Bring a Trailer. Due to the car's age, thousands of them have met their end at auto recyclers, leading to less supply. Furthermore, with engine swap technology evolving, building a Fox body into a lightweight drift car with a modern 5.0 Coyote is a tempting project. So what does this have to do with SN95 and New Age Mustangs? In 2015, I was able to buy my attainable dream car, my 2001 Roush Stage 2. I bought it from the original owner with under 73,000 miles on it, never tracked, regularly garaged, and in good enough condition. The paint needed a solid detail, and his list of receipts showed that he had simply thrown money at any issue the car had by taking it to a less than reputable mechanics. For example, the ABS on the car was not functioning, an easy junkyard fix, but the previous owner had spent up to $700 for a used ABS unit and a mechanic to install it, which still ended up not fixing the problem. Again, this car was his midlife crisis vehicle. He had driven it to Las Vegas. He had taken it golfing. I know because I found the parking receipts and I found the golf tees. This was his cool car to be at the height of his career, but that part had passed. It was no longer a cool Mustang to have anymore, since 2015. By looking at all those receipts, most of which were paid in 2014 and 15, the car probably came across more as a money pit. The old car sitting in the garage that isn't as fast anymore, the paint isn't as shiny, it's an old car. Now for me, after some of these minor fixes, it's been a great car. I've since poured more money on upgrades, maintenance, and I've even taken it autocrossing. Heck, I even spent 3 days cutting and polishing the paint. I was able to buy an unmolested Roush Stage 2 for only $10,000. However, now to the auto supply shortage, SN95 Mustangs are going up in price. Simple economics. People need a car, and car owners are willing to sell a car for more to meet market demand. Here's the thing, like the Fox body pre-recession, the SN95 Mustang is still in its value crater. Why buy an SN95 when the S197 and the S550 outclass it in performance 100%, and the Fox body is now the cool retro build? The SN95 right now is the unloved middle child, but only for a little bit longer. SN95s are older now and less numerous, and the price increase is starting to show. For new edges, the specialty models are starting to raise in price. I've seen private sales of similar Roushes to mine go for $15,000. Cobras, Mach 1s, Celines. If the seller knows the value of their vehicles, they're gonna ask for it. That's why now is a great time to get an SN95 Mustang. The SN95 Mustang right now is in the just an old car category, meaning casual car owners might not see the actual value of the Mustang they are selling. That's why now is a great time to get an SN95 Mustang. The SN95 Mustang right now is in the just an old car category, meaning casual car owners might not see the actual value of the Mustang they are selling. For example, my Roush was on Craigslist for $10,000 and was simply listed as a Mustang GT. Little did I know it was a Roush with a single owner. In the past, I've had an A86 coupe. I found that too on Craigslist under a simple listing. Corolla Coupe. It was only $500. True, it was not running and it was quite a project, but also it was a complete Corolla A86 for $500. So while those who know what they got are going to ask for a higher price, now is a great time to research and look hard for an SN95 Mustang, because it'll only be a matter of years when even casual owners start asking higher prices. Think of any high price for common older cars simply because they are just older. Oh, here is a 1977 Chevrolet Malibu. It's a 6-cylinder, it's rusted out, but oh, I'm sure it goes for a lot at Barrett-Jackson. Yeah, those people. We are far from that, but only for maybe a decade more. If you want a huge bang for a buck, this is an even better time to pick up a Mustang GT. Unlike the specialty Mustangs, the Mustang GT really is in the category of just an old car. And don't get me wrong, I've had a GT Mustang as well. My Roush Stage 2 virtually has the same powertrain. Visually similar to a V6, and also outclassed by the 5.0 Coyote, now is a good time to pick up a cheap, reliable V8 Mustang and use the savings to upgrade as sees fit. I've now owned my Roush for almost 8 years. I have definitely noticed at local car meetups, my car is the one New Edge Mustang, never mind being the only Roush. And typically, my car gets noticed for how good a condition it's in. The SN95 are now in the beater car category, so a prime example gets the attention. And with people my age, who were teens when these were new, now have the buying power to finally build their ultimate nostalgia car. I very much do expect the SN95 Mustang to go up in price. For a GT, I would not pay any more than $10,000. $5K would be my sweet spot. And at $10,000, if we're talking that, it would have to be a single owner, sub 100,000 mile, no salvage title, prime condition Mustang. For specialty Mustangs, like the Mach 1, Cobras, Terminators, Cobras, Roushes, Salines, all the above, expect anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000. Really, $10K is probably the floor for something like that, but expect to be in the middle. Do your research and have a number that works for you. If need be, compromise in some areas. For me, I compromised on color, since I want a silver or blue Mustang, or even something unique like competition orange. My must-haves were low miles, a coupe, and a stick shift. I mean, my Mustang is brown, mineral gray, and Ford speed. I remember seeing my first New Edge Roush Mustang at a Ford dealership, fresh off the truck. I was either 13 or 12, and the Fast and the Furious car bug had bit me really hard. So here I am seeing a body kit, a big spoiler, side exhaust. I was hooked. I'm now in my 30s, and if I had parking space, I would easily pick up another New Edge for a track car project. By 2030, I expect these to be as rare as foxes. The 2020s will be the decade where a majority of these SN95 Mustangs are going to be off the road. So if you're ready to jump on a cheap, overlooked Mustang, now is a good time as 5 years ago. But that clock is ticking.